Alright, looks like the race is underway. Freeland got a little bit of a late start there, so we may have to keep that in mind going forward. Frantic checking out that first shop and finding laurels, which can't afford with the 50 hearts you start with. Then another pack of laurels here. Frantic's going to pick that up for 48 hearts. Freeland elects not to take the hearts. And then we've got a crystal, the first of 3 needed for 53, and neither of them are going to be able to afford that. Frantic's going to use the warp feature and check out the left side. And Freeland doing the same thing, so both players are going to go for this left check first, or at least see if they can get across the swamp coming up. Can be a little tricky here with both players being at level 0, very fragile at this point. Both runners using their laurels to get across the river. We get Frantic getting the first check, and that is also laurels. Those are free though, so he fills up to 4. Freeland's going to do the same thing. Frantic's going to grind in the starting town, while Freeland's going to check out more on the left side. And Frantic's going to pick up that crystal. Now we can afford it, and we'll see what he goes for next. Meanwhile, Freeland farming on the left side. Taking advantage of some of these enemies that drop big hearts. The big hearts are worth 6 hearts, which is the currency for the game, as well as give you 5 experience. And Freeland's going to pick up the nail. That'll allow him to break several of the blocks and enable him to access several of the shops in the game. He does a floor drop to exit the town. A little bit surprised he didn't go for the shop. The other shop was unlocked by having the nail there. Maybe he's going to head back. Maybe he feels like this is the better grind spot for him. He is going back into the shop, or the one he hasn't been into yet. Oh no. Okay, I guess he couldn't afford the nail before. He does buy it now. And the night's going to come to a close, so we'll see if he does a little more farming to be able to afford what's in the shop. Maybe he'll check out the shop before... Yeah, he's going to check out that shop, even though he doesn't have any hearts. We'll check and see if he needs to come back later. And he probably will be. That garlic is going to unlock 2 potential checks. There are 2 spots in the game, the garlic, so it's possible he gets some later, but he may want to grab it right now because that's a convenient place to get it. I suspect he's going to farm a little bit and then go back and buy that garlic. Meanwhile, Frantic continuing to farm experience and money. So there's a pretty good chance he'll have enough to buy both the nail and the garlic up in the town. And Frantic picking up level 2. That gives him an extra 4 bars of maximum health, as well as making him quite a bit tankier. But he'll help him out. Freeland quite a ways away from level 2 still. Frank's going to go up to the shop and see that the nail's there, and he's almost assuredly going to buy it. As Freeland continues to farm these good enemies down here, those harpies that are coming down, as we said, drop big hearts. Those are a good farming target, as well as those giant plants. See if Freeland elects just to get enough to get the garlic, or if he's going to go all the way for level 2 here. It's 150 experience points to get to level 2. Each level of experience, it takes an extra 50 experience than the previous level. So level 1 is 100 experience, level 2 is 150, level 3 200, and so on. Freeland does get level 2 to even things up, as Frantic's going to go in and probably buy that garlic, as will Freeland's. And considering that Freeland's on a few seconds of a delay, it looks like we're basically even here. I'm not sure about the issue with the game audio. Maybe if there's a mod, you could take a look at that. Freeland went the long way around. He's going to get down to the graveyard first. Frantic trying to do the floor drop early here, which can potentially be faster, but in this case it's going to lose him a little bit of time. It doesn't look like he has the correct subpixel to do that floor drop, so he's going to try to... There he gets it. Most of the floor drops depend on having a specific subpixel, and if you don't have it, sometimes you have to brute force it until you get the right one accidentally. In that case, there's not really a big setup for it. And the first graveyard check is the diamond, which isn't a particularly useful item. Freeland probably hoping for something better there. Diamond only really in certain situations useful. Most of the time it's not a very useful item. And they're both going to head back out. And again, this is pretty even so far. Freeland using the whip jump technique to get up onto that third 3 height block. Doing a whip jump elevates you slightly higher, and in certain cases, like right here, you're able to get up to blocks you aren't normally able to get to, and both runners are able to execute that. Freeland using a laurel for invincibility to get through this screen, probably a smart play there. He knows that he's got free laurels from this NPC in this town, so he's going to take advantage of that. Nice heads up play there by Freeland. And there you see filling up for free on that NPC. And he's going to check out this check, which he's going to be able to access with the nail. Equipping the nail allows your character to break vertical blocks with their whip. And gets the crystal there. That is the first crystal that Freeland has picked up. There is another one in town, so he'll be able to grab that other crystal at any time he feels like it, as long as he just remembers it's there. Freeland going to the church to refill his health. And he also picks up his second crystal, so a little bit of a lead here opened up for Freeland. And now there are 3 checks and actually 4 checks in logic here on the right side. There's one shop that's accessible with a nail. There's the vanilla Sacred Flame spot, which is accessible with a nail. There's also the graveyard on the right side, which is accessible with garlic. And a free vendor in the town of Algebra who will just give you an item. So those are probably the checks that the players have in mind right now as they head to the right. And the runners have pretty much taken the same path so far, going left first. And getting all the available checks on the left side. Yeah, I forgot to mention there are the 2 mansions which are available to check. Those are actually both in logic. Berkeley Mansion and Rover Mansion, as Kalari pointed out there. A lot of times the runners won't go into mansions because there's always one item that's locked behind an orb, and you require an oak stake to be able to access that, which Freeland actually just picks up. So he may actually choose to go into Berkeley Mansion right now. We'll see. As Zaitoriak pointed out, there's also 3 clues available in Berkeley Mansion. Each clue will give our runners the location of exactly 1 item in the game. That can be sometimes extremely useful, sometimes not so useful. But a lot of times it can be a trade-off because it usually takes a little bit of time to access those clues. So we'll see if the runners go for those clues or if just some of the clues. I have a feeling this early in the run where clues are more valuable, we're probably going to see both runners get all the clues. And we saw just a minute ago, Freeland used the laurels to get up those steps, and that saved him a bit of time. Frantic having a little bit of trouble fighting those Medusa heads, so he's going to fall a little bit further behind. As Freeland has made his way into Berkeley Mansion, he's going to try to navigate here. Frantic's still trying to get through this forest screen. It looks like Freeland's going to head over to that first clue that he can break open with the nail. Okay, and that clue gives us the location of the ring. It's in one of the 2 shops that's in the town of Algebra. So not necessarily the most valuable clue ever, but it does tell us that holy water will be required since both shops in Algebra do require the holy water to get into to access. Frank's gonna also go over and check that clue. As Freeland taking a game over there, not necessarily the worst place to take a game over. He's very likely going to have a chance to grind some more hearts. Anytime you take a game over, it takes take away half your hearts in the randomizer, and also all your experience. Really going to check out the vendor here, picking up the heart. No, he doesn't have enough. Actually, that game over is going to cost him a little bit of time. So the heart, a key item required for both the completion of the game and also to access the Brahms Mansion area. So that's definitely going to be something he's going to want to pick up right now, and he's going to farm a little bit for that. So he would have had enough hearts to buy the heart if he had not taken that game over. That would cost him a little bit of time, but definitely worth it to farm out those hearts to get that heart. Never really want to be double dipping any mansions if you can help it. Freeland resets and gets a floor drop. And he's going to check out the 3rd clue over here. And that is a whip in Doina for that clue. Doina is the last, basically the last check in the game. It's the last town before where there's a vendor before getting to the end of the game. And pretty likely that our runners are going to skip that one. But it is good to know that there's not a required item over there. Freeland hits the orb, gets the magic cross. That's one of the 9 required items. As Freeland maintains a small lead coming out of Berkeley Mansion, Frantic's gonna head over and find his magic cross as well before checking out this, or after checking out this clue. Freeland is gonna, looks like, pick up another stake before proceeding. And thanks to Ken Masters for the raid. Frank's also going to grab an oak stake from this vendor. Oak stakes, of course, require to break the orbs in the mansion, so you never want to dive into a mansion if you can help it without one. Freeland gets that 4-drop on the second try, gets the free item, and it's more garlic. Not particularly helpful, you already had some garlic. That is the second garlic location available. Freeland continues to maintain a modest lead here, and both runners have basically taken the same path so far. Just Frantic just a little bit behind. And Freeland thinks about it a little bit, and that looks like he's going to go down to Rover Mansion, which is an interesting play. A lot of times runners will try to skip this mansion if possible, because often it doesn't have anything that's required. It does give you 2 clues as well as 2 item checks, so this could work out for him or it could lose him some time. We'll have to see. He's going to use that blue crystal to be able to activate the cutscene, accessing this area down here and the entrance to the mansion. But if this mansion's a bust for free, like this could be what Frantic needed to get back into this match. As Frantic gets the garlic that is not needed. Freeland taking another game over. Hopefully that doesn't cost him a chance to buy an item again. Frantic, using that diamond, that's not something you see very often, but he's using it to stun those Medusa heads and keep them off him. And Freeland finding the rib there, so Rover Mansion is required, but he doesn't have enough money to buy it, so he's going to have to farm a little bit. He may climb up to the top and then come back down, do a floor drop back to the vendor when he has enough hearts. It seems like a smart play. Meanwhile, Frantic coming into the town of Algebra, he's going to check out this graveyard to the right. And grabs a whip upgrade. First whip upgrade we've seen. Each whip upgrade will upgrade your whip to the next highest, most powerful whip, so that puts him up to the Thorn Whip, which does 2 damage as opposed to the 1 damage that the regular Leather Whip does. And the free vendor only has the Sacred Flame, which is not a particularly useful item. Ooh, Freeland looked like he fell down there. That might cost him some time. Meanwhile, we've got Frantic warping back home. And if I haven't missed any checks, it looks like this orb is going to be a required progression because there aren't any other available checks that are in logic that I can think of. Oh, actually, the heart is we have the heart. That's right. So there's actually 4 checks in Brahms. I forgot about that. But we know at least that Frantic is going to have to go back to Rover at some point because we've already seen the rib there, which is a required item to beat the game. And we'll see what this check is here. It's the Holy Water for Freeland. That's a big deal. We already know that Holy Water is going to be required. So he gets 2 required items. And I think he's probably going to farm here so he has enough hearts to get that rib. So yeah, Freeland taking a bit of a gamble going down into Rover, and it pays off for him big time. Although he is burning a lot of time with his farming right now. That's probably not the way he wanted this to go. He was hoping to have enough to buy the item that was required. But he's got a little bit of farming left to go before he can afford it. Frantic taking a death as he heads over to the NPC that normally gives you the diamond in vanilla. In Randomizer, though, he gives you a free random item, so this check is almost always worth checking. This time it's not, however. It's the Silver Knife, the most useless item in the game. Freeland's still having a bit of a struggle in Rover. Maybe giving Frantic an opening here? It's hard to tell who's ahead at this point, since their paths have diverged a bit. Freeland does not have the right subpixel for this floor drop, so he's going to try to brute force it. And there he finally gets it. And looks like he's going to grab that clue as well over there. Or maybe not. But he still doesn't have enough to buy the rib. He needs one more kill. And there he gets it. But Freeland uncharacteristically struggling a bit in Rover. That's not a mansion that you're usually going to see Freeland take a long time in. He's usually in and out, but he had some trouble there. Taking an intentional game over there since his heart count was low. Smart heads-up move there. He's probably going to need to farm a bit because that holy water is going to open up 2 checks in the town of Algebra, which we just saw Frantic come from a little bit ago. Meanwhile, Frantic ascending to the top of Brahm's mansion. He's got 3 more checks in this area. Fighting those spiders. Never want to see the spider in this mansion. They have a tendency to knock you off the stairs. Yeah, good point there by Zytorak. It looks like Freeland is still at level 1. That's one of the reasons why he's taking so many deaths. Well, Frantic at level 2, much tankier. With the 2nd level of experience. Frantic passing on the oak stake. He must have one already for him to not buy that. I don't remember him picking another. Oh, he hasn't been to Rover, so he does still have the oak stake from before. I missed what that clue was though. And finding laurels in that first shop. Okay, and Zytorak's saying the clue was oak stake and Varos, which is something we already knew. Freeland going to check out this room for the clue that's here. And we find that Frantic is just about to get an orb. And he's going to utilize the garlic strategy for killing death. This is an extremely safe way to kill death, but also extremely slow. And Freeland will be a bit relieved to see that he is going to get his first whip upgrade. We'll have to see if he elects to farm out level 2 here while he's in Algebra. This is usually a good place to farm. Especially if you haven't gotten level 2 yet. He's going to run out of time as day comes to vanquish the horrible night, but probably not what Freeland wanted to see. I think he wanted to farm a bit more there. Frantic picking up a dagger? And we already know this is going to be a red crystal. Dagger actually a pretty useful item, especially early and especially late. It does 2 damage, which is 1 more than the regular leather whip, but it also allows you to perform a critical attack on Death and Dracula, the final boss. So that can be very useful if you're underpowered going into the Dracula fight. Of course, he's already defeated Death, so that dagger's not going to help him there. Looks like Frantic is going to grab that oak stake and warp out. We'll see where he goes next. He could go to Rover, which we know he's going to have to eventually. But now that he has the red crystal, that actually unlocks the rest of the map. So pretty much everything is in logic for Frantic at this point. Other than the checks that are locked behind Holy Water, which he doesn't have yet. Freeland gonna check out this shop, it looks like. I think Frantic is going to buy some laurels. And there's the ring, and I believe we had a clue for that earlier. Yeah, we know that holy water is required, so Frantic's going to have to go into Rover eventually to get the holy water, as well as the rib there, which is a required item. Frantic going to use this free NPC to fill up on his laurels. And Freeland's going to go over to Brahm's mansion now. So it's actually kind of hard to say who's ahead at this point, because each one has done a mansion that the other hasn't. It looks like Frantic is going to use the graveyard shortcut to get to Laruba Mansion. In the vanilla game, this is affectionately known as the blob boost, as you have to boost off of one of those blob enemies to get up there and boost up to a platform that you normally can't get to. Here, you can have some more favorable enemies, like these skulls. The floating skulls are actually very good to get this boost off of. And those skulls we affectionately refer to as Steve in the community. So we'll see if Frantic can get a little bit of help from Steve here. As Freeland picks up level 2, he's going to be very happy to see that. Should be a lot more survivable going forward. As Frantic gets the boost into Laruba, and he's going to check out the 4 checks that are available here. One is a vendor, one is a free NPC, one is the boss of the dungeon, Carmilla, and one is an orb. It looked like he just menued to his oak stake. That always makes me nervous, unless I saw that. Oh no, he menued to Laurel. Okay, that's fine. If you accidentally menu to an oak stake, you can accidentally fire the oak stake when you're not ready, which can be pretty catastrophic. But no, Frantic there, just menuing to the Laurel to get through the dungeon a little bit easier. And Freeland making his way through Brahms, Frantic making his way through Laruba. Got a silk bag there. Frantic does a double take and then decides to get it. Not a bad idea, since we know we can get unlimited free laurels from the NPC in the town of Alba. He probably just remembered that after he said no and went back and get it. So probably a smart move there, especially since he's not likely to need to buy anything anytime soon. There's another free oak stake. Not needed since he has one already, but he may go back and grab another one after he uses the one he has. Frantic gonna check the orb first here.
Thank God.
And it's another oak stake, so not particularly useful. And looking at his inventory to see if he has anything that's going to help him out with Carmilla, and he's not going to find very much. Trying to reset this encounter to get a good pattern. There he gets it. And this is going to take quite a bit of time with just the Thorn Whip. Carmilla has 240 hit points, and the Thorn Whip does 2 hits per strike, so that's a lot of hits. He wants to be careful not to run into Carmilla as well, because I think one hit is going to kill him here and reset her health. Freeland, meanwhile, gets his red crystal. Frantic showing pretty good technique here, fighting Carmilla, trying to get 2 strikes per jump. You can get 8 to 10 per pass if you're careful. Frantic continuing to wear down the boss here. This is a pretty good fight for him, I think, with the weak whip. Oh, and he takes it down, only gets laurels, and that's gonna set him back unless Freeland decides to also go into Laruba. But there were no required items, not even a whip upgrade. But we'll see. Freeland may elect to go into Laruba as well. He is a fan of doing that graveyard boost. But I think the longer that Frantic waits to go to Rover, I think the more it's going to hurt him, which isn't necessarily a bad strategy to wait on Rover, but in this case it's required. And Freeland looking like he's going to try to skip Laruba, at least for now, which we know that he is not going to need. He does find out a very useful clue, actually. He finds out that the eyeball is in the other shop in the town of Veros, and immediately recognizes that he has to go back for it. So that was a big clue for Freeland to pick up, because now he knows that he does have to backtrack for this. And I want to say that's all he needs to be in go mode. So Freeland making a wrong guess by trying to fade this check over in the town, but get some help from a clue, letting him know exactly where the last item he needs is. And I'm really hesitant to call game with how the last couple of races have gone, but Freeland definitely ahead here by a good margin. Freeland gets Dracula's eyeball, and that puts him in go mode. So he's going to make a beeline to the end of the game. Yeah, and it's looking like Frantic is going to check these checks over here on the far right of the map. I know he's going left, but the tornado warp will take him to the far right side of the map. But he does find out there that the eyeball is available, but he doesn't have the holy water yet, so he knows he needs the holy water. He doesn't know where it is, though. Freeland fills up on laurels and is going to proceed. Frantic, I think, is going to check out the NPC that normally gives you the flame whip in vanilla. It's extremely likely, actually, that this is going to be a whip upgrade. So we've only seen one whip upgrade so far. Actually, it's the golden knife, which is a pretty useful item, but definitely not what Frantic is looking for. Frantic, I think, is wanting to see holy water right now, because he knows he needs 2 items that require holy water at least. And those are 2 items that Freeland already has. Do you know that there's a whip upgrade available in Doina? We saw a clue for that earlier. See if Freeland elects to pick it up on the way by, or if he feels like he has enough offense already to beat the game. Which I think Freeland's pretty confident that he has enough offense to win. He might be not have enough hearts to buy the whip anyway. Frantic, meanwhile, digging into Bodley Mansion. Unfortunately for him, this is not a required mansion to seed. I feel like I'm gonna use his laurels to get across the Bridge of Doom here. This bridge isn't too bad in the vanilla game, but in the randomizer, you can have some really nasty enemy combos here blocking the path. So having laurels to get through it is extremely valuable, and Freeland uses it to get by with ease. I'm going to use another to get across the Swamp of Sadness. And takes a death there. That's not going to bother him at all. He gets knocked down, boosted down by the spiderweb. Frantic finds a consolation whip, but that wasn't what he was looking for. He's still looking for that holy water, which we already know is in Rover Mansion, on the complete opposite side of the map from where he is. And it looks like Frantic is, unfortunately for him, going to last locate that holy water. And Frantic, probably frustrated at this point, seeing an oak stake. You never like seeing the oak stake in the morb. It just basically trades an oak stake for an oak stake. Frantic looks like trying to remember what he hasn't checked yet. I believe that two rover checks are the only checks he's missing right now that are in logic for him. It's really making his way through the last area of the game, Dracula's Castle. Going for that quad drop, only getting a single. We're probably going to see the dagger kill here from Freeland. Using this glitch with the dagger to kill Dracula rather in just 2 hits. And perfectly executed there. Freeland's going to take this one, 5504 for a time.
I was not supposed.
And Frantic is going to forfeit. So get your GGs out for Freeland and Frantic. Good race there. Frantic, unfortunately for him, picking the wrong path. And Freeland's going to take it down and advance to the winners bracket semifinal to face 2snack, where Frantic's going to go down to the bottom bracket. And he is going to face Kalari in the second round of the second chance bracket. Looks like our runners are gonna do an interview here, so we'll bring them up. Hey guys, GG's, good race.
I'll definitely have to play better next time around. That's for sure.
Well, I gambled and it didn't pay off. It just came down to that.
Freeland took the early rover play, and that worked out really well for them. Frantic tried to fade rover, and that there ended up being 2 required items in there. There was a rib and the holy water, which you probably figured out at this point.
Yeah, I went to rover early because I got blue crystal pretty early because Jova and Alba each had a crystal, I believe. So I felt pretty comfortable going to rover, and there was an oak stake in Varos, which really helped set that up. So I guess that's the one thing that went my way. This one I didn't play particularly well.
Yeah, it looks like you had a bit of trouble there in Rover Mansion. Do you feel like, in retrospect, you would have liked to grab level 2 a little bit earlier?
Yeah, I think I felt like I was playing uphill as soon as I took that first game over. So I didn't feel like I could afford to waste time to farm. In this one, I wasn't... Actually, since this scene could have easily been a jet scene if I didn't die so many times. But, sometimes you look... Got it. Just learn even when you win, kind of thing.
Well, it kind of probably was in my own head a lot, too.
Frantic, is there anything you probably would have done differently if you could have done the seed over again? Or did you feel like you made some good gambles that just didn't work out for you?
Just, I guess, went to rover instead. I thought about that, but then I had the heart, so I went to Brahms.
One thing about Brahms is you're almost guaranteed to warp. Since you warp, I'll usually wait until I need to warp before I go to Brahms, kind of thing. And there are certainly seeds where I've delayed Brahms to my own detriment as well. So it's like it's just knowing when to go for it or not. So I kind of waited until. So I kind of waited to go to Brahms until after I cleared right side because I got holy water and rover, so I wanted to clear. Well, I wish I had full cleared right side. I would have a little bit earlier. I don't know if anyone caught if anyone saw my stream. I think I mouthed some very colorful words when I saw that clue on the cliff.
Yeah, that turned out to be a good break for you, finding that clue, because you knew immediately where you had to go to pick up that last item, so that worked out pretty well for you. And then Frantic made the Laruba play, which turned out to be a bust, unfortunately. No useful items in that mansion. Just a tough break, really, for Frantic there. I don't think you played particularly poorly at all. It's just the luck was not with you today. And Freeland picking up the slack and taking the win.
Definitely see how the next race turns around. Like I said, if I play this bad against Two Snake, I'm going to the loser's bracket, that's for sure.
Okay, do you guys have any more comments about the seed or the race or your next round opponents?
Let you go first, if you want to go first.
Kylari's going to be a really tough one to face next. He's just as good as Freeland, so that's going to be a very difficult match. And we'll see how it goes.
A lot of times my races against him come down to just 1 or 2 different checks. Like last time it came down to, last race came down to doing a checks in a specific order that was more favorable to his route compared to mine. That's how that shook out. I know that's how it worked, and I didn't realize until I had watched the replay that I was actually battling uphill the entire time. That's pretty much which I definitely know if I have 24 deaths in a match against Tusnik, I'm going to be sweating a lot. I'm going to be sweating quite a bit. Like I said, Tusnik, obviously, you don't see him play the randomizer much, but he's a really good racer, and he can catch you by surprise if you're not prepared. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely be looking forward to that race. That's going to be a good one between Freeland and Tusnik. Definitely a marquee matchup there.
Last time I raced him, we ended up splitting two matches, finals, I think. Definitely caught me off guard the first time. Sure. So I definitely have to be equally as prepared to make more aggressive gambles, opposed to playing it out safe like I did in this one.
All right, thanks guys. That was a good race, entertaining race. It was close for a long time, and then just the look of the draw pulled it out for Freeland there. So both runners still in it. Again, Freeland going to take on Tusnik in the winners bracket semifinals, and then we're going to have Frantic taking on Kalari in the second round of the second chance bracket. So we'll be looking forward to those. Thanks for a great race, guys. I think that's going to wrap it up. Thanks everybody who tuned in today. Hope you enjoyed the race. We'll be having more races scheduled soon, so check out the SpeedGaming channels for those. With that, we're going to sign off, and everyone have a great Thursday evening, and hope everyone's well. See you next time.